Hello everyone! In today's tutorial, we are going to be painting this cute Christmas bear, and it's really going to be easy as I'm only going to be using a few brushes and some repetitive techniques. As always, you can download a copy of this sketch for free using the link in my description box. After you bring in your sketch, you will see a layer like this, and we are going to bring down the opacity so that the sketch looks a bit faint. And we are doing this because we're going to actually keep the sketch in the final painting. And now I'm going to make a new layer so that we can start to paint. And for the majority of this painting, we are going to be using the hard edge round brush, and this is a new brush that I've recently added to my Sublime watercolor pack, and if you have already purchased it, you can go back to the download link and get an updated version. Now I'm going to start painting the bear with a brownish color, and I'm going to bring down the size a little bit. As you can see, this brush creates this line along the edge, hence the name hard edge, and this edge kind of mimics real watercolor. It kind of looks like watercolor when it dries on paper, so we really want to keep this effect, and therefore I'm going to carefully paint along the sketch line to ensure that this edge effect shows up in our final piece. If we were to paint freely all over the place, we will have to erase excess paint that goes over the sketch line, and then we will have to erase these hard edges, so it's really ideal to paint along these sketch lines and not go over. One more thing to note is that you don't really have to worry about painting this bear in one stroke because we are going to blend out all of these overlaps later on so that the overall color looks really smooth. Now that the bear is completely colored, let's start blending using the basic blender tool. When blending, it's important to not go over the line because if we do blend over the line, the hard edge effect will also be smudged. So even though it will be a tedious process, it's best to carefully blend with small strokes. So as you can see here, I've smudged over the line, so we don't really want to do that. And I'm just gonna go back and blend very carefully so that the hard edge is still there. Now the bear looks pretty smooth, and at this point we are going to start to add some shadows so the bear looks a bit more 3D. Using the same brush, we are going to color the back of the bear like this with a slightly darker brown, and we are pretending that the light is coming from the top left corner. You don't have to be super precise about this because we're just making a cute character, so shadows here and there are just going to be fine. Now that we've added the shadow strokes, we are going to blend this using the basic blender. You can try to use the soft blender if you'd like, but I'm using the basic one. I'm just doing it very carefully so that it doesn't go over the line. Once you are done with the shadows, you can now add some highlights. I'm going to select the toothy pencil and get a very light beige and just go over the top of the bear like this, just on the head and some other areas. You don't have to be precise about this either. And again, we're going to blend that in so it looks a bit more natural. And then we add a new layer, and this is for the Santa hat. We're going to use the exact same method as how we've colored our bear. Let's select a dark red, and using the same hard edge round brush, we're going to start to color in the hat. Of course, we blend in these overlaps using our basic blender. And then you can go over some of these areas again to saturate the color and create shadows. For the white portion of the hat, we're going to add a new layer and get a very light gray and start to color in the white area. I'm going to add more color to the bottom to make this look a bit more 3D. And then you can of course blend it. And you can do the same thing to the rim of the hat. And then you can make a new layer for the gift box and start to color it in using the exact same method. I'm using a light pink here. You can use whatever color you like. Again, you just need to make sure that the hard edges clearly show up along the sketch line to make this look a bit more like real watercolor. Here, I'm going to add more strokes to intensify the color and blend it to make it look like a shadow. Now, let's make a new layer and add some decorations or ribbons to this gift box. I'm going to make it a clipping mask and select a dark red and just make diagonal lines like this. So using the exact same method, I colored the other gift box, and now I'm adding in some ribbons. So at this point, the bear looks pretty good. Let's make a new layer and draw in the eyes and the nose. I'm going to get my toothy pencil and bring it all the way down and color in the eyes using a dark brown. Also, you can use a stamp to create cute cheeks like this. Now, I'm going to go back to the eyes and the nose layer and select a very light beige or white and go back to my toothy pencil and just bring up the size a little bit. So I'm going to create some marks on the bear on the back. Now, the next step is totally optional. I'm going to create a new layer and then grab a dark green and then select the bold medium brush and start to draw a mini Christmas tree on the top. I thought it would be fitting because the bear is looking up at something here. You can roughly draw this in, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then you can also add in some shadows. I'm also going to add in the base and add a star on the top. At this point, the tree looks a bit too bold compared to the rest of the painting, so I'm going to bring the opacity down so that everything looks even. But it's really up to you whether or not you do this because every painting has a different style. So I hope you guys enjoyed this easy tutorial today. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, please subscribe to the channel as it will really help me out. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.